initially, I wasn't going to make this video because when it comes to Chyna, when it comes to Joan Laurer, I felt like there was not much else for me to add. There were people in the business, greats, legends, Jim Ross, Austin, people like Vince Russo and Shane Helms, friends close to Chyna, writers, um, people that have come out and spoke well on her career. Um, People here on YouTube, OTRS Central, good mic work. My friend Preston is doing a podcast on her. I'm sure Solid Monster will do a great job highlighting what kind of a pioneer she was. And wrestling fans in general, they're reminiscing on how great she was. People are writing covers, guitar covers, violin covers, piano covers of her theme song. And it's beautiful. It's great seeing this stuff. I love seeing fans show her the respect that I believe she deserves. I'm seeing people say she was the Divas Revolution before the Divas Revolution was a thing, and I wholeheartedly agree. She's done so many great things for not just WWF, but wrestling, period. And it's tragic. It's tragic that her life ended the way it did. But again, I felt like all of that's been said before. So anything I could say, I would be repeating myself. I would be repeating others because I said all I need to say really on that Thursday video. It was short. I understand that, but what else is there to say? Like, she's a two-time intercontinental champion. She's one of the first female wrestlers to wrestle men believably and really become a megastar during her career. And, other stuff. First female wrestler to be in the Royal Rumble. First female wrestler to compete in the King of the Ring. The very first female wrestler to get a shot. I mean, she didn't wrestle for the World Championship, but she got a shot to compete for the WWF World Championship. That's huge. Her times with Eddie Guerrero. Love that stuff. Mamacita. That was great. The fact that she was such an awesome women's champion that she had to vacate the championship because she had no competition. Think about that. She had an awesome career. The fact that ever since then, ever since leaving WWF, ever since leaving um, wrestling and going down that very dark path, sex, drugs, and never recovering from it. And I think that's what makes it sad. I think we were all hopeful. I think we were all optimistic about Chyna getting her life together. And it saddened someone like me that she never did. She never recovered. And the first thing we want to do, the first thing that fans are doing is pointing a finger at others. People like Triple H for leaving her, for cheating on her with Stephanie McMahon. People like Stephanie McMahon for not allowing her to be recognized for blocking her entry into the WWE Hall of Fame, which I don't know if that's accurate. Is it just Stephanie? It could be Triple H. It could be Vince too. But they're pointing the blame at X-Pac for leading her down that path. They're just blaming and blaming and blaming. It's WWE's fault for not intervening. It's WWE's fault for not showing her the respect. Maybe she would have gotten her life together if they did. And see, statements like that, I kind of agree with. But you know what? In this situation, the WWE is damned if they do and damned if they don't. They can put Chyna in the Hall of Fame. And you know what? She would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. The thing is, if they did that, then it would be the whole, oh, now you want to put her in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, when she's dead and you can make yourself look good when she does it, you're jerks for that. At the exact same time, if they don't acknowledge her to avoid the backlash, oh, so she's still not good enough to be in the Hall of Fame, you're jerks. Damned if they do, damned if they don't. There is a lesson to be learned from this, and this is why I wanted to make the video. That lesson is simple. We need to start appreciating these talent while they're here. And the lighting on my video just kind of went down. Let me fix that really quickly. Just gonna add some light to the situation. There we go. The point that I wanted to bring to the conversation, because if I couldn't bring a point, there'd be no point to making this video. But what I wanted to bring to the conversation is that we need to learn. We need to look at Chyna's life, look at her career, look at what we did to her while she was alive. Take that and make sure it never happens again. Someone like Chyna, her life being as tragic as it is, I don't want to remember her for porn. I don't want to remember her for the drugs and how her life ended. Look at her when she first came into wrestling. Watch interviews of her when she first came into wrestling. She was articulate. She could put sentences together. She looked great. She was a great person. She was nice. I don't remember anybody saying anything bad about her. She didn't pull any politics. She didn't harm anybody. She was good to work with. Okay, so she did porn. And she did some drugs. She might have caused harm to herself, but you know what? I don't remember her harming anybody else. And then look at her before she died. Look at how broken she was. I don't want to remember her as that broken figure. I want to remember her for how great she was, for what she brought to wrestling as Chyna. I want to remember Joan Laurer as the TV character Chyna. And I don't want to spend this time blaming somebody. I don't want to spend this time blaming WWE, blaming Stephanie, blaming Triple H, blaming anybody. Let's not do that. And I don't want to get on a high horse and say, you better not do this, because that's not what I want to do. I want to say great things about this woman. I want to celebrate her career. I want to talk about how awesome she was. Talk about how she was able to wrestle someone like Mark Henry and give him a hard time. Talk about how she made Jeff Jarrett look like her bitch and all the low blows she gave to people. The fact that she had the cat as a manager. The stuff with Eddie, which, please, go back and rewatch that. Or go back and watch it. If you haven't seen her relationship angle with Eddie Guerrero, it's some of the best stuff. Some of the best writing in WWF. Yeah, WWF, WWE history, whatever you want to say. Those two were amazing. And the fact that they're both gone, man, that's sad. I'm pretty sure they're laughing it up in heaven right now. But I want to remember that stuff. I want to be able to, look back on Chyna's career and just overlook the fact that her life ended tragically. And I want to take what we did, what happened with Chyna, and make sure it never happens again. When we see people like Sonny, when we see people like Hogan, when we see people like, Virgil and others that have fallen from grace. The fact that we are ignoring these guys' career, ignoring, not paying respect to what they've done for the business, and doing it because of PR reasons, I think we need to stop that. That's something we gotta stop. We gotta stop treating people like crap for petty reasons. It has to stop, and it has to stop now. We already let it happen with Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man Randy Savage, we all knew, was a legend. But you know what? I would have loved to have seen Macho Man get into the Hall of Fame, get the respect that he deserves when he was alive. Same thing with Chyna now. I love the fact that people are acknowledging her as a pioneer, is saying stuff like she's the greatest female wrestler of all time. You know, hey, Trish Stratus and Lita, they never got shots at the World Championship, but Chyna did. I hate that we're doing it now when she's dead. You know, I would have loved to have seen Chyna really come out of her slump. I would have loved to have seen Chyna, you know, go to the Hall of Fame, make it to the Hall of Fame, speak to us, talk about her career, and really be that rock, really be that centerfold for what women should be like. Be that blueprint of what all female wrestlers, future generations will look at and go, yeah, I want to be just like that. But I guess that we're doing it now should make up for it, right? I'm not blaming anybody and I'm not mad at anybody either. It's just we got to appreciate these guys. We got to appreciate these people while they're here. We got to. I don't want to wake up tomorrow and find that someone like Hogan has been killed or has passed away from causes. And then, oh my God, Hogan is great. No, okay? You know, the wrestling business as it is rough on these people. The wrestling business is a bitch by itself. These people are going into these rings and hurting themselves, diminishing their health for our entertainment. And they're doing it in ways, they don't have to do it, but they do it for our entertainment. They do it in respect to the art. They do it in respect to what gets people to care about the wrestling business, to create that story of triumph or failure. It's an art. Wrestling is an art. And it's an art told with the human body, but it's an art that requires you to pay a heavy price. Probably more than you'll get back. There are rarely there are rarely people in the business that have made millions. There are people like Brock Lesnar and John Cena and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and Austin and Rock and Hogan. You know, they've made millions off of wrestling, and they can still talk about it to this day. And then there are those that didn't. So let's appreciate these people while they're here. And that's the lesson that I want to get out there. Let's not wait until they're dead to say they're great. If they've done great things, if they've inspired others, if they are pioneers for the business, let's acknowledge them now. Let's not wait like Chyna. And if there are people that need help, that people like WWE can help, can make an intervention with, do it now. Do it now. I get the whole idea that they have to want it, and I think that's a case that hurt Chyna as well. I've heard the WWE tried to intervene, and Chyna rejected them because she felt like she didn't need help. Still, though, man, the ones that can't admit they need help are the ones that need help the most. But yeah, man, I hope WWE does acknowledge her. I hope, well, they kind of already are, but I hope they pay her the due respects. And I kind of think they will. I'm expecting a network special. I am expecting a Hall of Fame induction. I am expecting people to talk well about her. I'm expecting a statue of honor. I'm expecting it all. Whether it's PR, whether it's media, whether them doing it is all about them looking good for themselves, I don't care. I really don't care. I really, really don't. I'm just happy Chyna is being acknowledged for what she is. One of the all-time greats. Finally. Fucking finally. It's just sad that we're doing it when she's dead and not when she's alive. So let's make sure this never, ever happens again.